everybody. My name is Brenda Lee Kitchen and I'm the coordinator of Protect NL. Today is Sunday, January the 11th, and we're here to do our regular 8 p.m. live. And tonight we're going to talk about what to do when they fry like bacon and how we can learn from that and have a stronger team. It's really important that we keep getting organized now, because as we can see by the NTV news and the different announcements just this week by Mr. John Risley, that they are still bent on moving ahead with their own agendas, which just continues to, reaffirm the urgency that we also have to keep moving ahead. So if you're tuning in here tonight, just want to say a huge thank you to each and every one of you. I also want to say a huge thank you to everybody who's in the Protect NL Facebook group and to those who continue to support our various pages. We do have a Protect our Port Peninsula, where we have some really brave volunteers involved with the page and the chapter out there. We are attempting to start our Protect our Great Northern Peninsula as well, and we have a volunteer who's interested in taking that. And we are looking for more. We're looking for more volunteers all across the island now, and I should start to say all across the province, not just all across the island, because it's very obvious that Labrador has been used and abused and misused for generations, and we all have to be standing together now in Newfoundland and Labrador. Hello, Mary Pin. Thank you so much for tuning in here. Hi, Kelsey. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. Hi, Kayla Ann. So nice to see you. So happy to see you both here. I just love, and I know that you and Kelsey have so much love, and I love that. And so hi to Isabella and Ashley as well. Hi, Christy. Thank you very much for tuning in. Still wearing your gorgeous earrings. Still love them as much as I ever did. Christy is a very talented artist, and she crafts jewelry as one of the many things that she does, and I love her jewelry. So thank you so much, Christy. Yeah, thank you, everybody. Keep spreading the word, keep sharing information, keep inviting people to the group, because I have some really great news. Our group has hit 8,189 people. It is up 131 just since last week. And that's just incredible. So keep doing what you're doing. I see you. We see you. We appreciate you. Keep using those voices. Keep talking to the people. Keep bringing them over. Keep bringing them to the team. Mary says, hi, my friend. We are going to stand up and fight for what belongs to our children and grandchildren's future. It is our responsibility to make sure that they have something to look forward to in Newfoundland and Labrador. Yes, 100%, Mary. I hear that, there's a lot of people that they're brushing off these projects. They say they're too tired. People have actually said to me they don't care what happens because they're going to be dead. None of that is acceptable. I can appreciate that people are very tired. I don't accept that when people brush it off because they're going to be dead. But I ask you to just look at the children and look at they're the innocents. And if we don't fight for the children, who is going to fight for the children? Do we expect the children to fight for the children? They are the innocents, and it is up to us to make sure that they have a future. It's the right thing to do. It's the moral thing to do. And we have to stand up now for all of Newfoundland and Labrador, because what's happening in our province is wrong. We're being lied to. We're being manipulated. We're being misled by government, and not just the government. We're being misled and lied to by these companies like World Energy GH2 with John Risley, Everwind Fuels on the Burin Peninsula, Everick, they're all trying to pull the wool over our eyes now, and they just keep moving forward. It's pretty obvious that this is a land grab and a tax subsidy grab, and Newfoundland and Labrador has had enough. So you have to find your reason now, and it's very important to find that reason and to stand. So the closer we get to winning, And the stronger that we get, the more we are going to see people fry like bacon. It's really important that you see what's happening when somebody fries like bacon and how we can use that to our advantage. But first, I just want to say, Protect Newfoundland and Labrador. We want to offer a safe space where people can have these conversations, where people can come here and learn about what's happening, where they don't have to worry about being called names or being called stupid. Protect Newfoundland and Labrador operates on mutual respect and integrity. I mean, I've had people tell me, look, you're infringing on my right of freedom to speech. Well, no, I'm not. I'm just asking you to stop cursing in the Facebook group Protect NL. That's not infringing on anybody's right to speak. It's asking you to respect that we are offering a safe space. We're still building our team. We have to offer a space where new people can come in. I mean, if we got new people trying to join Protect NL and they're having a look at the group and all they see is F this and F that, I don't see that as a very welcoming space while we're still trying to build our team. Now, I got nothing wrong with F-bombs. If you want to curse and call these politicians names, then let's have a private conversation. Because Newfoundlanders and Labradorians are very colorful in their language. And I've heard a lot of really good names. But online and in our Facebook group, we operate on mutual respect and integrity. And we do ask for respect while we're discussing these ideas and the different problems that we're seeing at hand. So no name calling, no cursing. I think that's pretty fair. And we just want to say thank you to all of you who respect those rules and continue to offer a safe space. Quite frankly, I'm also done with the blame game. For those of you that know me, I voted a Liberal most of my life. And I have turned out to be a pretty damn good fighter. So please don't blame this all on the Liberal voters, because you're knocking off a whole bunch of people that could be really good in this fight to protect Newfoundland and Labrador. And you're also like, I wasn't stupid because I didn't see what was happening. I was just victim of the brainwashing. And once I saw what was happening, I saw. And once people see, they can't unsee. So keep spreading the word. Keep staying patient. There are people out there that are going to push you. They're going to attempt to trigger you. And they're going to attempt to keep us fighting and involved in low vibration activity. That's not how you win these things. We have to rise above now. Hello, Deborah Beck. Debbie from Swift Current. She's taken on the energy board on the Burin Peninsula. She got a big kahunas, I tell you, that Debbie Beck. We love you, Debbie. Hi, Devin. Devin is one of the smartest men I have met so far on this journey. He's so brilliant. Devin is a young man in Central who is just not leaving this alone. He is like a dog with a bone, and we really appreciate that, Devin. Hi, Diane. Love Diane Gibbons. She is amazing. What a powerhouse. Look, these are the people that we want to be working with. We want the powerhouses. We want the people who see the truth. We want the critical thinkers. Okay? Because the closer we get to winning, the more dirty these people are going to get. And you have to see through the manipulation tactics. Paul Pike, special accolades to Paul Pike for being so brave and taking on the interview this week with NTV News. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that now in a minute. Paul, thank you very much. And Paul, we really appreciate how open you are and joining Protect NL. Would you believe there's people out there that can't work with women? It's just incredible. The egos, you can't tell them anything. Sorry, but Protect NL is mostly made up of women right now, and we're really grateful for the men who come on our team and respect women. And we respect you too. And this is the type of team that we are building, one based on mutual respect and integrity. A team of critical thinkers. A team that is going to continue to get stronger with time, and a team that can really win back Newfoundland and Labrador. Hello, Savannah Sky. Just want to say that's a beautiful name. Nice to see you here. Hi, Ned Edmonds, Linda Lilly. Nice to see you. Hi, Linda. Linda and Rex down on the Burin Peninsula. They've been dedicated to this for a very long time. Hi, Mike. Huge welcome to Mike Lake. He has been through quite a bit. He's also one of the people that Paul Pike, the MHA, lied to in order to get votes by telling him that the projects would be scrapped. Yes, critical thinkers are unisex. That's right. We can, there's just the silliness that people goes on with. We can't work with everybody because everybody is we want to work with everybody, but there is a lot of people who are misguided and are being manipulated and don't see the truth. And sometimes you got to let those people go. Just like the people who criticize me and fry like bacon because I asked them to stop calling Newfoundlanders stupid. You're going to call Newfoundlanders and Labradorians stupid? How do you ever expect them to have the confidence to stand up against Goliath, the government, and win? You're beating them down. That's not how you raise people up to win a fight. That's how you keep people anchored in despair. That's how you keep them anchored in losing mentality. But men, women, we're all welcome here, and you just have to operate on mutual respect and integrity. That's all. And because of that, we will have a strong team, one that can win. That's right, Paul. I mean, it's not liberals or conservatives. We are all Newfoundlanders and Labradorians first. And I'm going to throw out that we can also be land protectors. Land protectors may have originated, have indigenous roots, but we can all be land protectors. That's people who stand up for land, community, water. We can all be Newfoundlanders and Labradorians and stand as land protectors together. Hello, James Young. A huge thank you to everything you do. There's a lot of key players out there that have really great forums that they're using to unite the people, to help install, pride and unity in the place that we live in. And those that love Newfoundland and Labrador will see it as worth fighting for, right, James? Thank you for all you do. So, before I move on, I just want to say as well that we have court. Court is happening this Wednesday, January the 14th in St. John's. It's at 9 a.m. at Atlantic Place. This is the closing arguments will take place. And we really ask if you're available and you can come. It does have a huge impact. We see the responses just going through security, to see all these people going into the courtroom, even the lawyers. We're reaching people that we may never have reached before. So if you're available and you're into St. John's area, can you please come to court? It's the closing arguments. So the Crown is going to attempt to prove that we were sleeping on the boat or something because they changed their angle. They keep changing their angle. You got to be there to really believe and see what's happening because it's really mind-blowing. I've promised my lawyer that I wouldn't talk about what was happening directly in trial itself. And the only person that's been able to shut me up is my lawyer. So he's asked me not to talk about the trial itself. But you have to know that the Crown did offer us a deal. The Crown, in case you missed it, the Crown tried to make a deal with us. They told us that if Amanda Butcher and I pled guilty to unauthorized use of government property on that Friday, they would drop and paid $100 fine each. They would drop all the federal charges against us and drop all the charges against Jennifer Waitway. So we discussed it. Of course, we're not going to take any deals where we're admitting guilt. We're not guilty. We took the time to learn the law so we wouldn't break the law. And quite frankly, I think the government fried like bacon that Friday when we came back. And that's what happened when people fry like bacon, they make mistakes. And I'm going to talk about that now in a minute. How when they fry like bacon and it can work in our favor. Hi, Shane. Thanks so much for popping in. Shane Pilgrim. Hi, Gerald. Gerald on the port. Man, oh man, some going on out there, right? But as I tell you, don't be dependent on Screaming Eagles or the ETC to be fighting for you. You got to be using your own voices now because just look at what's happening. Look at their actions. It's really, really sad what's happening. There's a lot of money out on the Port Peninsula is not just government money. There's money flowing for the indigenous bands, and there are a lot of French francophones out there, and there's a lot of money that flows for that as well. And with that is a lot of corruption, and they want the Port Peninsula so bad. So if you're watching this from the Port Peninsula, email Protect Our Port Peninsula page. We are continuing to mobilize. We're continuing to take action. And quite frankly, the team that you want to stand with is the team that's taken action. I know, Diane. They were doing everything they could to try to get us to admit we were in the wrong. Just crazy, hey? But there's absolutely, we didn't do anything wrong, and we're not going to be admitting guilt to anything wrong. I told them, look, if you want to give me a parking ticket because I parked in 4 spots, I'll take the parking ticket, because that's all I did. Park in 4 spots. Other than that, we are standing on Kiss Me Arse Avenue. I wear this shirt in honor of our message to government. Hi, Philip. So nice to see you. Thanks so much. He also runs a huge Facebook page, a Facebook group story, and all fuel gas prices. Philip, write it down there for me. I always get tongue-tied sometimes. Hi, Charlene. Hats off to Miss Charlene Blake. She is a woman, a force to be reckoned with. We love you, Charlene. You are loud, and just keep going, girl, and let me know if there's anything more that Protect NL can be doing. I know that we're stretched out in a lot of different spots, but we will do anything we can to help you. Yeah, they're trying to twist the truth. That's it. And you got her, Pontiac. Charlene knows. She's been in the game long enough. She knows. So just want to touch briefly on the NTV interview first. And, there's so much that gets discussed in those interviews. Unfortunately, it's a very short piece, 2 minutes and 35 seconds, I think is what it amounted to, which is average for NTV. But I think they did a really good job taking some parts from both Paul and I, making sure 2 points of view were considered. And it's really important that more people speak now, because as long as it's just Brenda Kitchen's face in front of the camera, they're going to just, make it personal and make it all about Brenda Kitchen. But I think we're really starting to flip things around on them now, because they just can't continue to come at just Brenda, because there's too many people speaking now. And that's where we want to be. We need to keep building. We need to keep speaking so that they can no longer avoid the issues and make it personal and twist it all around, which is exactly what Charlene is saying. Thank you, Philip. Appreciate your patience on that. Hi, Trudy. Trudy McDonnell from our area. Trudy, I think you're brilliant. Come on, we got to get some people interested in taking action in Bay St. George South. I'm doing everything I can here. I've been the subject of ridicule and bullying, and I've been ostracized. But I'm telling the truth, and I know there's other people that do too. And you don't have to have me in the group, but come on, Trudy, you got to get these people moving and asking questions. I mean, we got a local service district office admin telling people not to worry about their water when it comes to Triple Point resources. I'd love to get into that right now, but I can't. I'm going to stay focused. Maybe we'll do another live just on Bay St. George South. I mean, Peggy Margaret White, she's moving ahead with her own agenda. She's meeting with Scott Reed just this week. I mean, they're moving ahead with their agendas, which is, again, more urgency that we have to continue to move ahead, and we have to continue to get organized. Hey, Charlene, let me see what your comment is there. I don't want to miss you, girl. You sent me a good cartoon. Good. Can't wait to see that. Oh, Risley. Risley is pivoting now. He's pivoting because he knows the gig is up on the hydrogen. And because this is land grabs and tax subsidy grabs, he's going to come up with a new idea to get more money. That's what's going on there. Hi, Chantel. Hi, Blanche. Hi, Lauren. Hi, Alfred. Awesome. Love you, Alfred. So good to see all these people popping in here. Awesome, awesome. So just want to let you know that the NTV interview, both Paul and I also talked about how all of these mega projects need to be stopped immediately. If there's no market for hydrogen for World Energy or Pattern Energy, there's no market for anybody's hydrogen. So they're just continuing on with the illusion, because it's still about the land grab and the tax subsidy grab. There's no place for mega turbines in Newfoundland and Labrador. We are open to renewable energy, but the government really has to reel it in because they went whole hog, and they did not do the proper public consultation. They did not create the proper renewable energy legislation. And before we move ahead on any renewable projects, and definitely, as an automatic no to these mega projects. Newfoundland and Labrador is no place for these mega projects. But if they are wanting to do some renewable energy on a much smaller scale that have benefits to Newfoundland and Labrador, to the people, including energy, then they need to really scrap everything that's on the table now and start over. And starting over means public consultation and renewable energy legislation before they even open the doors to these companies. Because right now the companies are calling all the shots. Just incredible. Yes, the level of misinformation is unreal. I mean, we're watching somebody now here in St. George's frying like bacon, talking about the data centers and trying to sell data centers to the people. Well, the data centers aren't coming with it, the wind turbines, mega wind turbines, and we're saying no to the mega wind turbines. So come on, right? Oh, Charlene, they lied about WIRAC as well. Yeah, you know what? Should almost do some information about WIRAC, because WIRAC, anybody that's aware of it, that's about a land grab as well. And unfortunately, we are seeing some First Nations groups also attempting to make land grabs. It's happening on the Northern Peninsula, it's happening on the Port Peninsula, and it's happening right in my own community with Peggy Margaret White. They're saying they have no claim to the land. They're landless, not-for-profits, actually. I'm not even going to call them a landless band, because they're not landless bands. They're a not-for-profit that was formed, and they claim that they're a Mi'kmaq, and now they're claiming land. And Peggy Margaret White is the only person that's making the deals with these companies, to our knowledge. She signed an MOU at World Energy GH2. She also is given a letter of support to Triple Point Resources. This is not her land to give away. So this is, again, another reason why the people really need to continue to get organized, because they're still pushing ahead with their agendas. Yeah, Charlene, maybe we can talk more about WIRAC too, because I certainly need to get more educated on it. Yeah, the government is not making good decisions. We elected our government to represent our best interest. We are trusting our government to take care of us, and they're not. They're just not. And for whatever reasons, where they're misguided. And I say they. I am being, I am generalizing, but I do believe that there are good politicians out there. We just need to find them. I know, Diane. How can Peggy Margaret White have so much authority when she is not a recognized chief? That's right. She created a group, and she self-appointed herself for the first 4 years until they had an election. So it's just crazy. It's just crazy what's happening. But there's so many layers to this. I mean, I think a lot of us know that they've been planning this for a very long time. Government, big business. Some people would look even bigger than that, a bigger picture. You'll hear people referring to the elite. But no doubt about it, there was meetings where they just sat down and they divided up Newfoundland and Labrador like we were nothing, just something there to pad their own bank accounts. They look at us and all they see are stupid Newfoundlanders. They call the meetings with us monkey meetings. They really underestimated us. But just know that that is their downfall. We are very smart people. We're critical thinkers. And now we're going to be more dangerous than ever, because the critical thinkers are all coming together now, the strong people. And that's what we have to keep doing. We have to keep pulling our team together and get stronger and stronger. And in addition to, just saying, I just talked about if the government wants to explore renewable energy, fine, we can explore it. There has to be other steps that need to be taken first. But meanwhile, you talk about Newfoundland and Labrador has a ton of other sustainable industries that can be explored. I mean, let's better support our fishery. We should all be behind the fishery, not just if you have anybody in your family that's a fisherman or a fisherwoman, but you also have to think about our food security. Let's look at our tourism. There's so much that we can continue to develop without having to destroy our environment and without having to put people's health at risk. I know, Charlene, they don't want to talk to you because you're talking the truth and they can't handle it. And if the people knew the truth, everybody would be angry. Everybody would be rising. Everybody would be pushing, and they're frightened of that. But little do they know, we're still going to push. We're still coming together. So remind yourselves, this is a land grab. World Energy GH2 does have the land for 3 years. They got the land for 3 years. Yeah, they should withdraw their project immediately. But I highly doubt they will, because for as long as they have that land, they have it in a holding pattern of 3 years. Right? It's all a land grab. It's all about taking the land. And then John Risley will continue to pivot to try to grab those tax subsidies. So we see it for what it is, and this is why we're going to fight. That's right, Charlene. And for those of you out there that believe in the PCs, and how many people have attacked me for asking Andrea Barber questions. She's the Minister of Tourism. They keep telling me, leave Andrea alone. She just gotten her job. I mean, just gotten her job? Come on. She still needs time to settle. Still needs time to settle? Come on. Like whenever I worked a job, we may have had some probation period, but I tell you, I never had it the next day. I had to answer to my boss regardless. I still had to answer the phones and talk to the public, so ask Andrea Babar, who does she think is going to come visit and enjoy our tourism industry when we're covered in mega turbines. And if all these projects move ahead, you're going to see mega turbines from soon as they get off the ferry till they get to St. John's. It's going to be in Port aux Basques, going to be in Codroy Valley, going to be in Burgeo. They're going to be all along the Avalon Isthmus. So, you're going to have mega turbines all across the island. So come on, you need to, for those of you that believes in our PC government, then I challenge you to reach out to them and start asking questions. Don't depend on just Protect NL to put in our letters asking questions, which we will soon. And we will share our letters in our Facebook group, so you'll get to see them all before we put them forward. But I encourage you, especially if you're a PC supporter, to start asking government questions now. Okay. When they fry like bacon. So the Liberals are frying like bacon right now, okay? And when they fry like bacon, they pull obvious stunts, okay, to push their agenda forward. An example of that was Force NL. I mean, what a ridiculous name, honestly. Nobody's going to force Newfoundland and Labrador to do anything. Those days are over. So that's an example of them. They're in panic now. They're frying like bacon. And quite frankly, this is what we're seeing to give Andrew Parsons a podcast. Andrew Parsons is a master manipulator. Look at what he did while he was in power. He, you don't need me to go into detail about him, but having Andrew Parsons have his own podcast is an opportunity to push propaganda. So those sort of tactics really show that we are winning, because they're grasping at straws now. I mean, Andrew Parsons' name is mud. People, if anybody saw through the ridiculous corruption in the Liberal Party, it was when Andrew Parsons took that bonus in addition to traveling all the way to Ottawa to be a lobbyist for the wind energy company in Central. Do not let this man forget, look, we see you, Andrew Parsons. We see you, you're manipulating, you're taking things, you're a lot of self-interest there. And there's absolutely no way that you could have been the Minister of Industry and not have a conflict of interest and now be lobbying for Everett. And you know what? Everett is right on the bottom of all these wind energy companies. I mean, Ravi Sud, you really need to look at what Robert Loader has come up with that guy. I mean, he's like the lowest of the low. Why would anybody do business with these people? We don't have to jump in bed with just anybody. We can hold out. Our resources are only going to get more valuable with time. So we do not have to be just doing business with these lying companies, okay? They're lying. So when you see things like Andrew Parsons having his own podcast, know that that's another example of how we are winning. So, we had a man out here in St. George's on the West Coast who was exposed for some of his role with a takeover. And that man just fried like bacon, okay? And when these people fry like bacon, here's one of the things that happens. They will get emotional, they'll get triggered, and they'll either write a huge rant on their Facebook, or they will do a live where they're just ranting. And it's really important that when you see people fry like bacon, that you read, if this is somebody that you're like, somebody you believed in or somebody that you had faith in, you got to sit back now and really read what they're saying or listen to them, because they trip up, they tell lies, because they're just frying like bacon. They're not thinking properly. And their only intention then is to twist words, like Charlene said earlier, and to try to bring the attention on either Brenda Kitchen or discredit Protect NL, rather than discuss the issues at hand. This particular man was in a photo. He's on the board for the Newfoundland and Labrador Indigenous Alliance, and he got exposed and he lost it. He also did a YouTube video of support for World Energy GH2, and I contacted him quite some time ago. I asked him if he was still in favor of World Energy. He said no, but he had never addressed it publicly. So I asked him, well, why don't you get them to take your video down? Why don't you make a public statement about it? He did none of those things. It was only when he was exposed that he fried like bacon and finally started to discuss the wind turbines, where he tried to insinuate this particular photo that we shared was 10 years old when the year was written on it, October 2025. So see what they do. They get all caught up in their own lies because they're emotional, they're triggered, they've been found out. So we really hope that, you have to continue to see past this. You have to see what they're doing and what they're saying, and you have to just call it out. And the other thing that they're doing is called gang stalking. We're trying to get other people to turn against us. So they're making their own attempts to manipulate the people. Yes, that's a really good point, Sally. This person also went in and deleted their live. So I was like, stand by what you're saying, man. No, because you know what you're doing. You know you're lying. You know you're manipulating. And what they've also done is they've exposed themselves. So we know that person is not for Newfoundland and Labrador. They are not on our team. They're working for somebody else. And this is how, when they fry like bacon, it can help us grow a stronger team. And if you're somebody in the comments, because this is somebody that you follow, or have a look and see who's falling for it and who are the critical thinkers. We want the critical thinkers, okay? We don't have to have everybody on our team. We need to have the strong people on our team, the critical thinkers, just enough people to tip the balance, okay? Tip the balance and the house of cards will fall. Yes, Charlene, good. Another great point. I mean, she got the experience, right? So she sees all the tricks. They will delete anything the minute it shows them in a light that they do not want someone to see them as. So when they're continuing to attack somebody else, people are seeing through. I mean, we're 3 years in now, right? Is when they're still calling us names, saying Brenda Kitchen doesn't want progress. I mean, it's been 3 years of us talking now. So I think everybody knows that I want progress for Newfoundland and Labrador. I want people to have jobs, but I want people to have sustainable jobs, well-paying jobs, jobs that you can move home with. You can buy a mortgage. Jobs with good, good packages. We don't have to just settle. This is where we've gotten ourselves. This is how we've gotten ourselves in the situation we're in, where people just settle. They see the money and they don't see anything else. They don't see the consequences. They don't care about anything long term. This is how we've had a horrible addiction to the boom and bust. I love this, Jerry. I love this. Water pirates. Yes, wars have been fought over water, fresh water. So why are we just willing to give it away for pennies? The mega projects with the hydrogen plants are going to use, millions of liters of water. We're giving it away for pennies, and they don't even have to pay for it until they cut a profit. These deals are insane. I mean, I didn't even do business, but I'm telling you, I could put together a better financial deal than what's on the table here. It's absolutely ridiculous. I'm so sorry that you've been through what you've been through, Charlene. It's horrible. Absolutely horrible. Thank goodness we still have you. Hey, Jerry. Yeah, so the water, I mean, and for people to be, we're watching the conversation switch to data centers now. I guess that's the new tax subsidy scam. But we really need to look at what's happening. They're trying to say that all the water that's used for data centers gets put back, so we're not really using any water. I'd like to see that in writing, please. Come on. So when they fry like bacon, they'll do stupid things like put Andrew Parsons on his own podcast to push propaganda. Andrew Parsons, people see him now. That's the worst person they could have speaking for him. I mean, he doesn't even look well anymore. I mean, it's going to eat him out from the inside. When you trigger these players, they'll have a rant or they'll do a live or a huge write-up. They often make a lot of mistakes in that. They tell lies and it exposes them. So this is not people that you can count on to be a part of your team. They're showing you that they are not standing with Newfoundland and Labrador. And if this same person also said that they don't care what happens in other communities, it's not their place to say anything if it's not happening in their community. Well, come on. We all know that Muskrat Falls was not my community, but what happened there was wrong, and all Newfoundlanders and Labradorians are paying for it. So for anybody to even have the mentality to say such a thing, we don't want them on our team. They've exposed themselves and their selfishness, and that's not how we win back Newfoundland and Labrador. Yes, gaslighting, Charlene. That's something new to me too. I've never experienced anything like this in my life. Gaslighting, 100%. They try to gaslight you. It's just incredible. It's another tactic that they use. Hi, Margie. Thank you very much for popping in here. You're brilliant. Appreciate all your support. And then also when they fry like bacon, there will be an onslaught of trolls and flying monkeys. So both myself and Sally, and perhaps this may happen to you too as you become more vocal and they see that you are standing with Protect Newfoundland and Labrador. We'll take a lot of punches. We took a lot of weird punches this week. I mean, we're used to it now. We block them and we move on. And if you see somebody out there in the comments crying because Brenda Kitchen got them blocked, you write their name down and you take notice, because that's a huge red flag. There's a reason why they're blocked, okay? There's a reason. Yes. And now, yes, you know who I'm talking about. And now he's there pushing the data centers. And data centers are all connected to mega turbines. So here in Newfoundland anyway, that's what John Risley is claiming. So yes, Diane. So what's his skin in the game, right? Yeah, Charlene, you know what? I need to learn more about gaslighting, that's for sure. Luckily for me, I got my sister Sally, and she's really helped me with this. So love you so much, Sally. So when they fry like bacon, how does this make our team stronger? Because we can dismiss that person as being on our team. We can dismiss them as somebody that we can count on to fight for us. They're not fighting for us. They're fighting for themselves. They're fighting for another agenda. So let them go. Let them go. This is how we get stronger. It's true. Yeah. Protect Newfoundland and Labrador. We do have a lot of people blocked because we are building a strong team. And a strong team is a team that sees the truth, is a team that can have respectful dialogue, is a team that stands on mutual respect and integrity, and is a team that sees the importance of fighting for all of Newfoundland and Labrador. So we don't take just anyone. So when they fry like bacon and they expose themselves, we know they're not on our team, and that helps us get stronger. We can stop wasting our time with them. We need more groups, more chapters, and more voices. This is how we show that we are there is unity here. We have to continue to have more people speaking out. We would love to have more chapters. Again, we have some volunteers with a chapter protect our Port-au-Port Peninsula. We would like to have these chapters all throughout the island. It's not because Protect NL wants to be the leader. I know people like to say, oh, Brenda, you just wants to be the leader. No, I don't want to be the leader. I want to be standing with a group of leaders. And just as an FYI, you may not see yourself as the leader, but we are all leaders because we're setting by example. Every time you speak up or you take action, you lead by example. And that makes you a leader in your own right. So I see a lot of leaders here in the comments. Paul Pike, Charlene Blake, Linda Brockerville, Debbie Beck, Amanda Butcher, and Jen Whiteway. I mean, they're leaders, and everybody has an important role. So you may not be somebody that's in front of the camera like I'm doing. That just means, it doesn't mean that your job is any less important. The main thing now is that we all have to find our action. There has to be more action, not just on Facebook, but you have to find what your action is going to be off of Facebook. Mike, Brenda is no leader. I'm just joking. Brenda is no leader. We are in this together. I know what you're saying, Mike. We are a team, and we all stand equal in the circle. I mean, I could not do what I'm doing if I didn't have anybody to stand with me, because it would just be horrible, okay? Just horrible. But we have to keep getting stronger, and we have to keep coming together. And when they talk about unity, stronger together, yeah, it's true. It's true. But don't worry if we don't have everybody. We don't need to have everybody. We just need to have enough people to tip the scales in our favor. And I promise you, when you see these people frying like bacon, that means that we are winning and we are reaching more and more people. And that really, really gets their goat. Really gets their goat. And so that's why we have to keep going. We are winning, and we can win. We just have to stay dedicated and stay on course. So beware the distractions. I mean, you know, the insults that was hurled at me this week is just, or last week I should say, is just incredible from one particular person. But I don't care, because there's too much at stake now. There's way too much at stake. Newfoundland and Labrador will be destroyed if these mega projects move ahead. The environmental damage is going to be huge, and there's no coming back from that. And in addition to that, they're so big and they're so close to people's homes that people will get sick. The evidence is there. The research is there. So if anybody, you know, that's out there and you're wondering what you should do, I just want you to take a quiet moment to yourself and think about, what is my action item to help fight for Newfoundland and Labrador? And you'll know what it is. and we will support you on that. You don't have to be out front like we are all the time, but you do have to find out what your action is and move forward. Circles are strong. That's right, Christy. Thank you so much, Margie. We are so strong together. We're awesome. I can tell you right now, my love for Newfoundland and Labrador is infinite. It's infinite. Okay? That's I will fight for you for infinity, okay? Because I love you and I know what's happening is wrong, and we will stand up for what's right, and we can fix this. And when we fix this, we will fix generations of wrongs, generations of trauma. It's big what we're doing. It's huge. Huge. They never saw us coming, which is the other reason why they're all frying like bacon. They really thought Newfoundlanders were stupid. They had us pushed off, written off, and they really underestimated us. So we really threw a monkey wrench in their plans. The data centers are linked with the digital IDs and the collective control over the people. That's a great point to make, Pete. Peter Dalton. When we talk about cash is king, okay? Cash is king. When they talk about climate change, they're going to, and I'm not saying the climate's not changing. The climate is changing. Well, yeah, 100%. And humans are having an impact on the climate. But to say that there is an emergency and then to say we need these mega turbines to fight climate change, at some point they're going to use climate change to tell you that you can't travel to town for your medical appointments because you can't use that much carbon emission in your vehicle. Or they're not going to let you buy any. If we go to digital IDs, they're going to know everything that you've purchased. And if you bought, say you're a meat eater and you're after buying, a couple steaks this month, you might be turned down because you can't buy more than one steak because because cows cause carbon emissions and that's destroying our environment. Meanwhile, all these rich people are still flying around in their private jets, and people like Risley got their yachts. And doesn't he have like a home in Nova Scotia with 16 bathrooms? Screw you, John Risley. Maybe you could just trim a little bit off the fat there and maybe climate change would end. Yes, Charlene. It's time for them to realize we're going to clear the swamp, baby. Damn right. Yes, Margie. So we need to come together now. This is where, how people make fun of Newfoundland and Labrador and say we're a half an hour behind the rest. This is where it's working out in our favor. We're very lucky that we're behind the rest because we have a chance now to get ahead of this, and we can hold our own. We can hold our own. I know how big it is, but we can hold our own. But it all comes down to believing in your own power, knowing that you have the ability to change this and make it better. And it all can end now. And Newfoundland and Labrador can really change things around when it comes to our food security, our employment, our crime. Everything can change. We are the catalyst for that. I'm so proud of you for fighting. I know it's hard. People, we're happy-go-lucky. We don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. I just want to paint and live in the woods with my dog and my family. And, but we have to do this now. We have to. There's no more diddle-dallying. This is very, very serious. We are on a chopping block. That's right, Linda. In the meantime, they jump on their plane. It's called rules for thee, but not for me. So I see it's 10 to 9 there now, and I'm going to get ready to take off. Does anybody have anything else that they want to say? Charlene. We're wearing filters in our underwear from when we pass gas. You don't even know what silliness they're going to come up with. And there's people out there who's just swallowing it and taking it in, right? Oh, yes, yes, yes. But they've been taught, people have been brainwashed for years and years and years. This is why we have to stay patient. Just picture a baby, okay? Picture a little baby when they're learning how to walk, okay? When a little baby learns how to walk, what do? You hold your hands out, you help them a little bit. You can do it. You can do it, right? You can do it. You clap your hands. Come on. They fall down. You say, oh, get up and try again. You don't stand there and say, stupid baby. You stupid baby can't walk. Stupid. You don't. And you got to look at where we have come from. And this has gone right back from the merchant mentality. We've been abused for a very long time. So continue to encourage people. Continue to drop nuggets of truth to them. And be patient. It's love and truth that wins this, not anger and hate. That's why, that's why you'll seldom see me responding when people are bad-mouthing me, because they want me fighting all the time, defending and slinging mud back and forth. That keeps us low vibration. Instead, I want to look at what's happened, what we can learn from it, and how we can get stronger. Yes, Charlene, I believe you. I mean, I know that when we've had a hit, we're doing really good because the bullying will ramp up in my own community. I mean, we got, this white truck trying to intimidate me the other night when I was out for my walk, slowly driving by, and, like, buys, oh buys. I know we're winning, especially when the bullying starts to ramp up like that. They'll do anything to try to shut us up. So you just be brave now. It's okay to be scared, but you have to be brave and you have to continue moving forward. You have to take action. So yeah, Charlene, I believe you 100%. If you were in Newfoundland, they would be giving you a harder time. They called the RNC on you already and it backfired. They called the RNC on me as well. Yeah. The RCMP, I should say. Well, in St. John's, they called the RNC, and that totally backfired on them. But in my own community, yeah, they've called, I think there was 11 complaints about me to the RCMP. Not one of them was investigated, but you should have seen what they were saying about me. One of the World Energy GH2 employees said that I saw her at the Bank of Montreal, and when I was screaming and yelling at her, another elected First Nations leader said that I was at her house banging on her window, but so I think there was 11 complaints about me to the RCMP, none of which was acted on. But yeah, so some people, yeah, that's what they're going to do. They're going to try to do anything they can to shut us up, which is why I can understand why some people need to lay low and take a different path. But as long as you're taking action, they're not going to bully you if you're emailing the elected MHAs and asking them questions, right? So just keep pushing. Just find your path and follow it. We need more people calling open line as well, which I'm going to throw out there. We really need people calling open line and the Tim Connor show. If you have any contacts with national newspapers, we need that as well. Hey, Tanya, thank you so much for popping in. Bay St. George South is on the chopping block 100%. We got a chance to get ahead of it if people would actually start, talking about the hard issues here. And don't let it be about Brenda Kitchen. Don't let them distract you, okay? People all across the island see what I'm doing and they see that I'm telling the truth. But here in our own community is the bullying has really ostracized me. Yes, I think Amanda's having some challenges with her internet. But yeah, she certainly had a few challenges otherwise as well, but I sure hope she's doing well too. Yeah. But I think it might be the internet. Yeah, so Charlene, I wear a body cam now. And that has really helped me. I've seen particular bullies on our street like getting ready to tell me off, and then they spot the body cam and then they just keep walking, and I'm like, yeah, you just keep walking. Yes, good luck in court. Thank you for those good wishes. Again, if you're able to go to court, please is Wednesday, January 14th at 9 a.m. They want people to forget about us. They want us there by themselves. They want it to look like nobody cares. So we have to show them otherwise. This is where we can beat them at their own game. I mean, that they obviously fried like bacon. They had the cops arrest us on that Thursday, and they towed Margot Ann away. So when we showed up again that Friday, and we compromised, we moved spots. Instead of taking up 4 spots, we took up 1. We went to the end of the parking lot. But they were so mad that we came back. They fried like bacon and called the RCMP and insisted that we get off immediately. That's where a lot of mistakes was made. And I look forward to talking about that after trial is over, after court is done of me. Yes, Diane, they're cowards. Yeah. Yeah, body cam has really saved me in a lot of ways. Definitely. And security cameras on my property. We have quite a few security cameras all throughout our property now too. And that's really helped. All right, everybody. Thank you so much to everybody for coming in here tonight. I will pass your good luck, your well wishes on to Amanda. And let Jen know that you're supporting all of us in court this week, and keep up the great work. Remember our Facebook group shot up like over 139 members in 1 week. So keep it up, and just know that we can win this. We just have to keep going, okay? All right, I'm seeing all the hearts and loves, and thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm going to take that and put it in my pocket so that when they come at me, like, I'm just shielded with all this love. They can't touch me. They can't touch me. And yes, I hear MC Hammer in my background. Bum, bum. Can't touch this. Da, 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 da. Oh, and if you see Andrew Parsons, be sure to tell him. Kiss me arse. I mean... No one's going to mess with you, Charlene. They knows better. And they knows better than to keep messing with me, too. I also got an 89-year-old father who has turned out to be my bodyguard, and he's pretty amazing. They tried to say that Dad was running down the road after 2 women with a rifle and an axe, and he ended up getting swatted by the RCMP. And swatted is an American term where they tell the cops that there's a gun at someone's house, and then they all show up with the big rifles and all their body armor on. It's just ridiculous what they've done. But Dad knows what's going on. Dad sees the truth. Unreal. All right, everybody. I'm going to take off now. I can stay on here. So nice to chat to you. I loves it. I really love our Sunday Night Lives. Let's keep that up. Stay in touch. And if you're somebody out there who thinks that, you could take physical action by coming to a protest, I'd like to ask that you please message me your email address. I have a list started. We have quite a few names on there now, so that when we, if it comes a time when we have to make a move, we're organized and we're ready. So if Everwind Fuels actually thinks that they're going to be moving ahead with their hydrogen and mega wind turbines, we'll be ready to stop them. And we'll do it in a peaceful, law-abiding way, but we'll send our message pretty damn loud. But we're going to need some bodies to do that as well. So if you're somebody out there could actually take action, email me and let's get on that list, okay? All right, everybody, you take care now. And again, all my love to each and every one of you. Our love for Newfoundland and Labrador is infinite. We're going to continue to fight until we win. And we are winning. That's why they're frying like bacon. So gotta love it. All right, take care, everybody. All my love. And Savannah, I saw what you said about truth and light, and I really appreciate that. I'd love to connect with you more. Feel free to message me if you have any comments or suggestions on what we could be doing better. Drop to my knees so I can have a better angle. Just joking. All right, take care, everybody.